Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I got two Derringers here on the bench. Today we're going to talk about the Bearman Industries Big Bore 38 Special Derringer with the Guardian package. Obviously there's a big difference in the size between the Bearman, which is I guess taking the place of the Cobra Derringers, and the Bond Arms. This Bond Arms 9mm is all of 19 ounces, very heavy, very bulky in your hand, versus this little 14-ounce Derringer that actually fits quite nicely in your hand. You can get these for about 150 to 170. There's a $100 difference in price going to the Bond Arms, and we'll get to the reasons why in a minute. But obviously, this Bond Arms is much better and very well made compared to this little 38 Special here. The Bearman 38 Special is offered in a big variety of calibers from 22 WMR to 9mm. It's a nice little gun. I wouldn't recommend it for your everyday carry. I'll explain why in a minute. I guess supposedly with the Guardian package, it has this trigger guard on here. I took mine off. And if you have one of these or you're planning on getting one of these, having the guard on there makes it very hard to shoot, and it does hurt your hand. So I took mine off. It's very easy to take off. You open it up and there's a couple of holes right there, Allen screws that you could take it out with. So if you're planning on getting one, you'll probably remove this guard as well. You'll probably remove the guard as well because, like I said, it makes it very hard to shoot, and it's hard on the hands as well. But if you're looking just for, like I said, $150, so it's a great deal, but the quality is not as good as the Bond Arms. Nowhere near it's close. Like I said, this is in 38 Special only. You can't switch out the barrels for multiple calibers like you can with the Bond Arms here. It's got a 2.75-inch barrel on here, 14 ounces of empty weight, but it feels much lighter than 14 ounces compared to holding the Bond Arms 9mm. This one feels very light. It's made out of an alloy frame, and then these synthetic grips here that almost feel like plastic. I don't really like it. I would have much rather had wooden handles or rubber ones like on the Bond Arms. It just looks kind of toyish and cheapish feel when you hold it compared to holding this with these synthetic grips on there. This one has fixed sights, kind of similar to what the Bond Arm has on it. This is a 2-round capacity with a satin Cherokee finish that feels nice. I like the finish on there. That was done very well. Single action trigger. That's garbage. This trigger is not good at all, and I'll explain why in a second. But big difference from this Bearman to the Roughneck and everything. This outperforms this on so many levels, it's ridiculous. This has a lock and lever here, unlike the spring-loaded one on the Bond Arms. The Bond Arms. I like this lever a lot. You just flip it over to tip the barrel up. It's got an ejector right here to remove your casings, which is very nice. And then you hit the lock and lever back and locks it. This feels really good in the hand. Very small, concealable compared to this big bulky one. But again, if you're looking for quality, this Bond Arms, the quality on here is unbelievable. It's incredible. Very well made, rugged and durable. This one feels kind of like almost like a kid's toy. But again, I guess you would expect that for only paying $150. This is not very accurate. This is more of like a card table gun, or gun, a tackle box gun. Just, if you're looking just to be plinkering or having fun playing cowboy, whatever, this is very fun to take to the range. If you planning on getting one, or you do have one, then obviously they're not very accurate at all. 3 to 5 yards maybe. But again, it's a lot of fun to shoot, and there's not much on the market as far as Derringers besides these two right here. Very small, and like I said, this one's big and bulky in your hands, but obviously a much better gun as far as quality goes. But again, for $150, you really can't complain. I imagine you could probably change the grips on here and get something better, you know what I mean? Also on here, the gun on this alternates between the two barrels each time the hammer is cocked. So the only way to tell and which barrel is going to shoot next is with the gun unloaded. You lift up the barrel, you squeeze the trigger, and then you push the hammer forward. You push the hammer forward, and you can see that it's the bottom barrel. There's no switch or anything that you can select which one to shoot. You just gotta, like I said, raise up the barrel and squeeze the trigger and pull the hammer forward, and then you'll see which barrel is gonna fire next. Each time it rotates, each time you cock the hammer. From what I've heard, as far as accuracy, the gun sights are tested for the lower barrel on here, if that makes sense. Like it's sighted in to be for the lower barrel. The top barrel is going to always shoot high. So if you're trying to sight in real good, it's going to be the bottom barrel that's going to be the one that's going to be accurate, not the top barrel. The top barrel will always shoot high. This will not shoot plus P ammo. Like I said, it's strictly 38 special only. In the box, you get a lock, a typical handgun lock that's pretty much useless. There's no instructions on it. They give you a little card and give you a website to go look to read directions on the owner's manual. Again, I don't like that. I was looking for the owner's manual to look at things, and there was no owner's manual or nothing. Just that little card giving you a website to go to. This doesn't have a rebounding hammer like this one does, like the Bond Arm does. And me personally, I don't think it's safe to carry in the half-cocked position. You got to pull the hammer back, hit this little safety switch here, and then put the hammer back up. And then when you want to fire, you're going to have to cock the hammer back, take the safety off, and then fire it. Very poor design. Like I said, with all the safety features that's in this Bond Arms, there's hardly none with this 38 Special here. But again, I don't think you're going to want this as your everyday carry. It just doesn't feel safe. With the hammer resting up on the firing pins, I wouldn't trust it. Like I said, it's more of a tackle box gun or a card table gun. Just for $150, you really can't complain. I mean, you get what you pay for. But it is cool. And like I said, there's not a lot of options out there as far as Derringers besides these two. Again, the Bond Arms by far is a much better gun. The trigger on here is very, very hard and stiff. Like I said, if you do have one and you're having a hard time cocking with one hand to shoot, try removing the trigger guard. It's going to be a lot easier and a lot better for you. I think this trigger guard on here is useless. It looks a lot better, feels a lot better. without that trigger. This is obviously much better for concealed carry, but or just a backup gun. I don't. It's perfect to add to your collection, but for EDC, I wouldn't recommend it. It just doesn't feel safe. You know what I mean? But other than that, like I said, for $150, you really can't complain. If you're a collector like I am, it's a cool little gun to add to your collection. They're both beautiful. I love both of them, but I would not recommend it for EDC. I would probably carry my 380 or my little 22 North America Arms. And that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think. Would you guys use this for EDC, or do you use it for EDC? And let me know how you like it. Again, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great weekend.